For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a review on a lovely new product from Vango. This here is the Vango Utopia 500. The name I ring about, actually, Utopia was something that Vango used going back probably about 5 years ago for a polycotton tent, and that's no different really now. So this uses the beautiful nutmeg polycotton. So yeah, again, it's perfect for certain warmer climates, or even in the UK you'll notice quite a massive temperature difference between the polyester and the polycotton. So it's very similar to the Amalfi, which you may have seen in their polyester range, but it sort of carries on from that really, with quite a few differences. Joys of the polycotton naturally is it's breathable. So when you think of fine with polyester, it's obviously very waterproof, but there's no breathability into it. So on a hot, warm day, it's a lot warmer inside the tent than it would be with a polycotton. The polycotton fabric actually allows to sort of open the weave up, allows air passing through it and keeps it a lot cooler on the inside. On the flip side of that, when it's warm, sort of colder, for example, the weave tightens and keeps the warmth in, and it just reacts really to the temperature. Not only that, is actually a lot, basically, in terms of durability, its lifespan's longer. But the only thing to bear in mind is it takes a little bit longer to dry out, plus the weight of it is a little bit more. But generally the Utopia is a really nice model. You've only got sort of 3 inflatable beams, very simple to put up. I mean, I put this thing up on my own in the best part of, I don't know, it's about 8-9 minutes, so it's very simple and easy. An aluminium sort of alloy pole for the front canopy, just to make it, a bit easier to put up on the canopy. There's no point putting a brow beam on it, just it's easier with a pole. Then you've got new webbing straps, so there's no sort of guidelines as such apart from the front canopy. Everything now is webbing straps. It's a much stronger, beefed up way of doing it. It's just the further improvements they've added to it. What you've also got as well, again, is low level ventilation, as well as beautiful crystal clear windows, which have been up-spec'd again for the 2019 season. Overall, it's quite a nice, I see this more as probably a comfortable couples tent, or necessarily probably more of a smaller family tent, just because you've got enough sleeping for 5 really, and that's a good size. A sort of a fairly reasonable living area, enough for probably a couple of chairs and a table. That's where probably couples would find better, and then just a rain-safe canopy on the front. Really, I think probably the Solace is a better version, just because the price point between something like the Utopia and Solace isn't a great deal. Alternatively, you may have seen the Camper Breen 4 Air Classic, which I think, again, in terms of, it's a little bit smaller, but I think for value for money maybe work a little bit better. But not to knock anything off the Vango, it's a really nice model. You've got also a beautiful mesh door on the front here, which just helps seal up and get a good circulation to just even more help with that, get a nice cool breeze inside of the tent. But generally quite impressive model. Let's have a little bit more of a look about the certain features on the inside. So now inside the tent you can kind of get a bit more grasp for certainly the internal space, as well as generally the sleeping compartment itself. So it's not basically a massive internal living area, but like I said, enough for a couple of chairs and a table will be fine. You've got beautiful, like the crystal clear windows with zip up and down curtains as well, so which work quite nicely. It's a much more thorough way of kind of doing it, I'd say. So you can zip them up like that. Joys of that, which if you could actually have them sort of halfway if you wanted to, just to create a bit of privacy, but still allow a bit of lighting at the same time. Generally, you've got little features built in the tent, like little storage pockets at the front, as well as also in the bedrooms as well. You've got a SkyTrack system which runs throughout the main part of the bedroom there, which you can use for hanging sort of lanterns or little sky hooks, which will hold it in place, or additional storage pockets if you wanted to. On the beam here, there's one along the roof as well, so if you wanted to, you could again have something just hanging above the door. You've got a ventilation panel just above the door as well, which helps also give you a good circulation of air, twinned up with the ventilation panels both underneath the windows. In the sleeping compartment, it's really also look like a 5 berths. You've got a 2 and a 3 there with a complete zip divider, so you can actually have it as one big open 5 berth, but plenty of room inside of here, and again you can stand up more than happily. You've got a really nice strong roller bag, so again that's the joy of things. If it's casting it from A to B or just out the boot of the car, it's just a much solid base to pick it up with. generally, like I said, it's I think, like I said, for a small couple or couple or a small family, I think it's ideal. I personally I prefer the Solace because that extra canopy at the front is more versatile. And yet again, that extra 5 berth width is probably not as required for a small family or like I said, a couple really. So, but it's got all the same kind of features. And again, you've got things like cable entry points in the front and also in everyone on the side down here as well. But generally, it's sort of one of those things. I think that the one thing you probably don't get with the Breen is the interior height. So the Breen Classic seems a bit more sort of closed in, but the Villa construction that Vango use, which obviously gives you a much more steeper sides and then a curve at the top, just helps to make it kind of feel a bit more taller and a bit more airy inside. So it's certainly a nice little model there. But like I said, let us know what you think of the Utopia. Comment in below. Alternatively, go to our website where you should be able to see this product. So that is our little video review of the Vango Utopia.